Hey, Birds 365, get together here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, the Mac Guys. John McMullen, Jordan McDonald, hanging with you. Coming up, joining us in less than 15 minutes now. Barry Tremmel has been covering the Oklahoma Sooners forever. 3 decades worth of coverage out in Oklahoma. He does it for the Oklahoman these days, one of their lead sports columnists, but certainly in that town, that's going to include covering the Sooners. That'll be a fun time to get him on. Certainly a guy who saw Jalen Hurts up close and personal, the phenomenal year he had in Oklahoma, the relationship between Howie Roseman and Lincoln Riley. We got a couple topics we can run by Barry Tremmel. He's going to join us in less than 15 minutes. I started today's show asking John McMullen how he would fit Jalen Hurts in with comparisons of other quarterbacks in the National Football League right now, the starters and or if it looks more like the backup or the just drafted quarterback is going to eventually take over as the starter, even if they're not the starter on opening day. Feel free to use any quarterback on the roster as a choice to measure against Jalen Hurts as to who you would take, contract and all. If a guy is under contract and is going to make X amount of dollars and take up X amount of cap space, you need to factor that in going forward as compared to Jalen Hurts. I actually chose Jalen 8 times over the 16 quarterbacks in the NFC. I had 7 where I had to say no. Well, I'll take Aaron Rodgers. Sorry, I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Jalen Hurts. I don't think that's any disgrace. And I had one push. I pushed in San Francisco, where I understand Trey Lance is the 3rd pick in the draft this past year. But I have my questions because he didn't play at the highest level. We'll see. He may turn out to be the best quarterback in the NFL at some time during his career, or he may never live up to snuff. So I called that one a push. John had Jalen 6 times, 9 times another quarterback. He had one push with Kellen Mond of the Vikings. We did the NFC, John. You ready for the AFC?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. AFC East. Are we taking Jalen Hurts or that Allen kid from Baltimore?
Yeah, not close. Josh Allen.
Yeah, that would be correct. All right. How about Jalen Hurts and his former teammate who once replaced him out there down there in Alabama?
By the way, there was a little bit of a scandal yesterday in Miami because Tua was throwing 1 million interceptions at minicamp practice, which is meaningless, by the way. People get so up that you have no idea what they're trying to accomplish. It's like a pitcher in spring training. Maybe he's working on a pitch. Maybe he's trying to push the football down the field. Completely meaningless. I'm not a big Tua fan, to be honest. And I kind of want to lean towards Jalen Hurts, but I got to be consistent. Look, he beat him out at Alabama. He's a top 5 pick. He probably would have been a 1 or 2 had he not get injured. I think that injury affected him. I did not like the way he looked last season. But if you force me to pick somebody, I would pick Tua because I think he's got more talent.
I am a big Tua fan. Sorry, Mrs. Hurts, if you're listening. I'm taking Tua because I think Tua is going to have a breakout year despite the picks he threw in camp yesterday. All right. Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Newton. I'm going Mac Jones.
I got to go Mac Jones, too, because I said I thought he was the 3rd best quarterback in this year's draft. And, yes, Zach Wilson was the number 2 pick in the draft with the Jets.
Wilson. Yeah, I'm going Zach Wilson.
So am I. And I will once again apologize as I pick against Jalen.
Look, I brought up Daniel Jeremiah before, Jody. I told you, I did the math. I asked 7 different guys, 7 different well-known personnel people, some of them on this show. Rick Saratella, your buddy, Matt Manicherian, our buddy from Sports Info Solutions, former NFL scout, Blake Bedingfield, we asked on this show, on and on and on. I asked, where's Jalen compared to this quarterback class? Everybody said all these guys. Obviously Lawrence, but Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, they're all better. So, and it's not close. So I gotta rely on those guys. I gotta trust those guys. Those are if I'm Jeffrey Lurie, those are my football people. I gotta trust their evaluations. That's
No,
where I am in this.
I like to take in other people's opinions, but I generate some of my own opinions by watching as much college football as I do. So I don't take what they say as gospel, but I'd be stupid not to at least incorporate their opinion. They spend that much time looking at it. It can certainly shape my opinion as well, but it does not become my opinion. So I don't agree with all of them. That's why I'll say
Jody's Jeffrey Lurie. I don't meddle. I don't meddle.
Yeah,
I trust my football people.
If that's the case, I just wish that I had Jeffrey Lurie's bank account. All right, let's move to the north. Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts?
Not close, Lamar.
Yeah, he's kind of got an MVP in his back pocket. Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts?
Not close, Joe Burrow. But I will say this: Joe is coming off a really, really significant knee injury, similar to Carson Wentz. It wasn't just the ACL, Jody. There was MCL damage. There was PCL damage. I got a little concerned about his health, but I can't predict his health, so I have to go Joe Burrow.
As do I. All right, Big Ben Roethlisberger.
No, I take Jalen. And that's crazy because Ben's going to the Hall of Fame, first ballot, but this is about long term, and he's on fumes at this point.
His better days are behind him. How about this one? Another Oklahoma comparison. We'll get Barry Tremmel up here in about 7 or 8 minutes. Baker Mayfield.
No, I'm taking Baker. I'm taking Baker.
I'm taking Jalen.
Right.
I'll take that other Oklahoma quarterback. I think Baker Mayfield had a nice year last year. I think he could actually come back to the pack. He could get even better and become a top 10 quarterback in the league. Or he could regress to the mean, and I'm predicting regression.
Part of it is coaching as well. I love Kevin Stefanski. He's a Philly guy. I know him. I think he's going to be a great coach in this league for a long time. So I think Baker Mayfield set up well from a coaching standpoint as well.
I'm a Stefanski guy too, but I'm not as married to Baker as some other people are. All right. How about Ryan Tannehill? Or
I think Ryan Tannehill is the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. So I'm going Ryan Tannehill. Early season, same with your guy, Jody. Same with Sam Darnold. This is partial, but I still think Sam Darnold has a chance. Ryan Tannehill exists. As soon as he got away from Adam Gase, all of a sudden, bang, he becomes a really effective quarterback.
Although I think Tannehill will absolutely put up better numbers because he's got more talent around him, I think Jalen Hurts is just as good a quarterback and isn't making 20-some-odd million like Ryan Tannehill is. I'm taking Jalen Hurts. I know that's a bit of an upset pick, but I'll take it. Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts?
Oof, that is a tough one. It's
not. The Eagles made the decision for you.
This is Soapy's choice for me. No, the Eagles didn't make the decision. If we're up to the Eagles, Carson Wentz would still be here. Carson Wentz stomped his feet to get the hell out of Philadelphia as a petulant child act. So for that standpoint, now you're talking me into it. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts only because of the off-the-field stuff. And I don't like the way Carson Wentz handled the situation.
We agree on all fronts there. Deshaun Watson, like you said, he's an FU player. Sorry about that, Jalen. FU, we take Deshaun if he is even capable of playing.
He's not in the Texas prison league.
Right. But I've watched some good prison/Texas movies called The Longest Yard. So maybe
not the second longest yard, the original longest yard.
I like them both. The original was better, but the second one with Sandler was not terrible. It was not terrible. It was Sandler. Sandler's always good. And if they got to make a Longest Yard 3, Deshaun Watson can star in it. Trevor Lawrence,
not close.
Move along. That Mahomes guy, I'm pretty sure you've heard of him. I think most of our listeners have heard of him. We're going there. Either of the Broncos quarterbacks?
No, can't stand Drew Lock. Teddy Bridgewater, never been the same since the injury, so I'll go Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, right? That Herbert guy from Chargers looked pretty good his first year. I think you got to go there. And here's the other one. Here's my one push in the AFC. Derek Carr is a good quarterback. I get it that he's a good quarterback, and he's certainly achieved a lot more than Jalen Hurts has, but he's getting a little bit older. He is on a mega contract. Do I believe there's any more upside to Derek Carr? No, I don't. So just purely on upside and potential, I'm going to call this one a push. I know I should take Derek Carr because Derek Carr has had a more successful career and has put up better numbers and has shown some things that Jalen Hurts hasn't had a chance to show yet. But because of contract status, I'm gonna call this one a push. Did you take? I don't think you took an AFC push. You're taking Derek Carr.
No, I'm taking Derek Carr. Derek Carr's a little bit in the same vein of Ryan Tannehill. I think he's underrated, if anything. I don't think he's quite as good as Tannehill, but I think he's a really good quarterback. He's only 30. Yeah, you got to pay guys on their second contract. When he got that contract, he was the highest paid player in the history of the NFL. Look, now it's almost cost effective. So, I still got to take Derek Carr. Now, I'd love to get Derek Carr away from John Gruden, and I think it's a no-brainer, but you can't do that.
Yeah, I think Derek Carr is actually better than Tannehill. That's why I had Jalen Hurts over Tannehill, but I'll call Derek Carr and Jalen Hurts a push.
You don't like Ryan Tannehill, man.
No, don't. I think that I give credit to the offensive game plan in Tennessee the last couple of years, that when you've got a guy like Derrick Henry that you can turn around and hand the ball off to, it makes your passing game that much more effective. And he's good enough that he can take advantage of that most defenses show more respect to Derrick Henry than any other back in the National Football League. And that's why I think Julio Jones could have a damn big year in Tennessee this year. And
he's still got those guys around him, Jody. That's part of it.
Yeah, he does, but I'm trying to measure him with what the Eagles would have. That's the way I kind of formulated the question. You're bringing Ryan Tannehill in to replace whoever is the Eagles quarterback, and Jalen Hurts is going to have to play with the players that they have here in Philadelphia. If you put Jalen Hurts on the Tennessee Titans with Julio Jones and Derrick Henry, I think he could throw for 35 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. And, oh, by the way, take off and run with the ball every once in a while, which would make trying to cover Julio Jones even that much more difficult. So I thought it'd be a fun little exercise. I think we have established we're both Jalen Hurts' fans. There are some Jalen Hurts critics out there. McDonald and McMullen, not nearly as critical as others.
Chris Sims.
But Chris Sims. What he right? Didn't have him in the top 40 quarterbacks in the NFL?
Top 40.
Just because he once threw the ball for an NFL team doesn't mean that he knows what he's talking about. How do you do that to the young man? I don't understand. He also had my guy, Justin Fields, as the 28th pick in the first round. Yeah, that's right. When Jalen Hill's the best quarterback in the NFL, we'll get back to Chris Sims. But John and I are bigger fans than some others. I'm just a little bigger fan than John. So we'll get the opinion of our next guest, who I'm going to guess was a pretty big fan of Jalen Hurts because he had a damn good year when he was out there in Oklahoma. We're going to talk to Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Been covering Sooners football for a long time. We'll get him up next here on Birds 365.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.